Hi, welcome to this video on my TXT discovery robot and controller. Last time it was obvious that the controller needed a replacement because of very intermittent power off when I run on the battery, but also because the display flashed after a spontaneous reset while the program kept running, but I couldn't do anything anymore. I had to kill the process. I received a new controller, and of course that means that I have to install a new version of the firmware. I have to install Python, the API FT-RoboPy, so that I can use Python or better said that I can use everything using Python and my own program, Discovery Python. Also some other older programs that I've used. And then it's time to test. When testing, I just do this, and with the robot being on a very close distance from the laptop, I can just say run and see what happens, if anything happens. And curious enough, the flash comes back. Camera stays connected, but the flash is, so there will not be done anything. So the question is, what is the problem? That problem has certainly not been solved, and that opens the question, what more is there to be done? Now it runs. And something I did do is, let me go to the code, because you remember that if you watched the previous episodes, that it got stuck here. Here I had nothing anymore to find out why and how, so I put a printing line here, and it turns out that after this line it gets stuck here in this while loop. So what I'm going to do next is make sure that this one is commented out while I remove this. So now it will do during the finishing. I don't know if it happens, but we'll see. Let's go again. I'm lifting the robot slightly off so it won't run off the table. Connection aborted, a little bit too familiar. So at this point I say that the replacement for this has not been, let's say, successful. I have to get back to either fischertechnik, because this controller may be defective, or it may be Python after all. There. Time. Odd enough, the fan runs, the lamp goes, wheels don't. Well, it's not obvious enough because if you remember, oops, that was a measure lint. When we go to the code, it stays in here, and the question is, should it be while not all motor finished? I'll have to think about this and maybe just get it out. Could be, I have to think about it. But the conclusion is that the main reason that I got the one of the main reasons I got the controller replaced has not been solved with this new controller, which is a bummer. So I have to rethink about this piece of code. What I can do in this routine is making this while loop out, and that I keep just the if statement in. That means that I have to change this part of code. No, this one can stay. And let's see what happens now. If anything happens at all. That's what I mean. So unfortunately this has not been a big improvement so far. There we go. And right now nothing else happens. The fan keeps working, motor stop, no light or anything. Let's do it closely watching. And again, display flash. So this is getting pretty annoying. It starts alright. And now we do something more. The fan stops. So the execution of the program is not consistent. There's no motor running or anything. Let's see what happens if I start again. And again a reset. So this annoying part is still there. So I will have to contact the maker of the Python interface to see what may go wrong. Alright, in order to show what happens in both cases, we'll revert the program to put the while back and show you on camera, and then I will show you the case on camera so you can see what happens. So with the robot back on the floor, I'm very curious what will happen now. Once again, if anything, and yes, it flashes again. So first, the all too familiar reset. And oops. Let's try again. This time with something in front of it, like usual. And what happens now? The sonar detecting, but it's not doing anything except that a light is flashing. And this was the behavior in the original situation. No, not the original situation, but anyway, and that's all it does. So I will stop this and check for and bring back the original code. So here we go, I hope. Nope. Starting again. And what happens now? It stays in the loop with nothing else happening. And no sonar. Let's see what else we can do on the screen. Unfortunately, the end of the screencast computer froze, so I miss a part of the former screencast, unretrievable, but the first time what you saw on the camera was that it clearly ended using the sonar. Second time it just ran on, and right now it's time for do the ruler test like previously, see what happens then. So let's just type, and this should be it. And let's see on camera what it will do. Let me also put the code back on. And you see that the last time I did with the total original code, and it means it is still unclear to me how the exact things work, except that this motor rechts finished, it's a bit dubious, because here I say while not motor rechts finished, and here I say if motor rechts finished. So you test on two very different things, now that I notice. So I could say here if not finished. Let's test that as well before I do the ruler. Well, I do the ruler anyway, so let's just test this. See what happens. Time for the camera. So with a last time code change, let's run the code. If it accepts to do it once. No, I have to reset it. Go for it. Well, that seems obvious to me. It just runs on. No touching, and certainly no sonar. Oops. So with this obviously failed experiment, I'm taking this out. And I will change this. I have no clue what happens. So while motor at the right side is finished, and then during that loop, if it is finished. Let's see about that. I expect this to fail at the first time. Yes, it does. So let's run it a second time and see on camera. So with the code reset already done, let's see how it works this time. Yeah, right. As if I expected that to happen. So much for expectancies. Okay, let's diagnose again. Because this is it doesn't run straight. It touches the ruler, but clearly the sensor isn't done, because it already changed path before it was touched. The sonar didn't work out, otherwise it would have done. Or is it? I can test that again. Yeah, let's do that. Just test again. Okay, how about a clear failure? Not quite sure what to think of this, but with two clear failures in a row, go back to the code. Because once again, clearly the sonar doesn't work, clearly the touch sensor doesn't work, it stops running, the light keeps flashing, and the fan works. all of those shouldn't happen. Yeah, examine the output and now I stop the code, but clearly time for whatever. So let's scroll back in time. The last bird one, let's start with that. Here. Node is finished. Yeah, it keeps in the, it stays in this loop. So let's get the second one. Also it stays in the loop. So getting this out, I have to put this in. So right now the only things changed is that although it clearly passes this point, which is not surprising because it's just a printing statement, something happens in here that it doesn't go on. What I can do is remove, throw it all out. If just make an if. This should do it. Yes, that was the flash I expected. So killing it and start again, and let's see on camera. So with the while loop removed, changed into an if, let's see what happens this time. Let me put this here. Run. So much for that idea. The code runs on, but the robot doesn't. Again, no sonar, no touching, no lights. This time no fan anymore. So, well, let's check the output again. Unfortunately, I can't check the last output because in the end of the screencast it froze. Screencast froze, that is. But the output revealed that neither the sonar, neither the touch sensor worked. Everything has stopped. Looking at the code, well, I can only say it needs some revision in this part. I need to get back to fischertechnik for the controller, if this is a revised one or a new one. I think the first revised. I will get back to the person who lived the API, and then let's see what happens. So for now, another few failed experiments, but on the other hand, do experiments ever fail? No, actually. But thank you for watching, and to be continued.